Welcome to the Business Spotlight. Today I'm really excited. I'm speaking to Sarah Stanton, and Sarah is from the Holiday Cottage Collection. And I'm really interested to hear a bit more about your business and your journey. So I'm going to dive right in, Sarah. What exactly do you do? For how long have you been doing it? And what's that journey been like for you?
So we are the Holiday Cottage Collection, and I set this business up 3.5 years ago, nearly 4 years ago. In fact, it is 4 years in May. Yes, so 4 years almost to the day. And I got into our industry 15 years ago. I started off as a really junior member of a very small team for a holiday letting agency down in the southeast of Kent. I was there for 7 years, and we grew from like 30 properties when I arrived, and when we were finally acquisitioned, we sold. I say we, my boss sold for with 700 properties on her portfolio. I then, when COVID happened, I started working as a consultant, going into holiday letting agencies across the country, and showing them how to streamline their processes and how to best use the property management system that I am an expert in, which is called Super Control, and just showing them how to set that up. And about a year in, I was just like, I just need to do this for myself, because I was spending all of my time and energy telling other people how to run their agencies, when actually, I had that whole skill set behind me. So I started off with a couple of properties, friends, family members who were already in the industry. They let me list their properties, and from there we've grown to a really beautiful portfolio of 30 properties, and we are growing all the time.
Excellent, Sarah. So what would you say makes you different or makes you stand out from other agencies in the industry?
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's the experience that my business partner and I bring to the table. So as I say, I've been doing this for a long time, 15 years. She has been in marketing for almost as the same length of time. So as a combined entity, we bring so much knowledge and skill to the industry. The most important thing for us is that, and what defines us from others, is that we are really hands-on. So if an owner wants to talk to one of us, they can contact us directly. We don't use VAs. We're on call all the time, virtually 24 hours a day, and they have direct access to the directors and the owners of the agency that they're working in collaboration with. We also treat each of our properties as if it were our own, so you're not lost in a huge portfolio. If you go to a company like cottages.com, you will never speak to anyone that actually has any influence over how your property is being treated or who's booking your property. So we spend a huge amount of our time ensuring that our owners are not called every 5 minutes. They're not hassled in their day-to-day life. They have a truly passive income. They want what we want, which is to hand over the keys to us and trust in us to treat their property as if it were our own.
That sounds amazing, Sarah. So what's the business journey been like for you? Some of the biggest lessons you've learned since going out on your own?
Gosh, it's such a big question, isn't it? I learned through my experience how to set up a business. I was very fortunate to work with lots of entrepreneurs, business owners. They taught me a lot. But when you actually come to do it yourself, you realize how little you know. So it doesn't matter how much experience you have, how many times you've seen other people do it, until you actually phone the bank up, and you actually get into paying corporation tax, setting up a limited company, doing it yourself. You just have no concept. So I was really lucky. I had loads of experience, but even that experience led to more and more experience by practically and actively setting a business up.
So what's been the biggest hurdle you had to overcome, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, so the biggest hurdle, again, despite the fact that everything that I have done because of my experience, I set the business up with growth in mind, so future proofing. I knew that, you know, you can't continue to run a business just as one person if you're going to expand. So I met Alex, my business partner, and I offered her the opportunity to come on board, and she came on board. I stand by my original principle, which was to set the business up with growth in mind, make the foundations incredibly strong, far more robust than they needed to be. And that stood me in really good stead. However, it is still time. Time is the biggest challenge that I face, and we face as a business. So we are so streamlined and processed that we can keep our workforce really tight. But even with that, and you know, the property management system that I use, because I have been using it for so long, it does a lot of the heavy lifting, probably as many as 3 members of staff that another agency would use that has less experience. But there's just not enough hours in the day, even with that really strong foundation to the business. There just are not enough hours in the day.
Very common challenge too for many business owners and
Yeah.
entrepreneurs out there. Sarah, can I ask, what advice would you give to someone in business, whether that's around time or anything else?
Yeah, my advice would be, don't cut corners. Don't, if you can, don't wing it. Do the research. Go and practice where you can. Again, I was so fortunate that I've worked with so many really knowledgeable entrepreneurs that I've learned from. Just make your foundations extremely robust from day one, and make sure that you've got everything in place, that even if you have one client, think about that client as if it were the equivalent of 100 clients, and would what you've put in place for that one client scale up for your next client and your next client. And that's what's, you know, been our strongest asset for the business, from starting from zero to where we are now. It's the fact that we have got just such solid foundational structure in place to start with.
Systems are the key, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's things like you know, your website is now it's our shop front, you know, and I knew going into it that it didn't matter that, you know, I had 4 properties to start with. That website needed to be able to grow with us, and without having, I've been through enough website redesigns, relaunches, rebuilds, that I knew that whatever I put in place from day one needed to be able to flex with growth. So I think my key point would be, just think about your growth. How do you want to grow? And make sure that what you have in place allows you to grow without there being any barriers.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. Such great advice. What's one thing you wish more people knew about your industry?
How hard it is. How okay, the honest truth is, my honest answer is, I wish our owners knew how price sensitive the industry is and the true value of their properties in a market that is hyper aware of cost. So you can have a lovely house, but your owner may value that property really, really above market value because they're emotional about it, they're invested in it. If they could be a little bit more detached and objective about it, then what they would see is more revenue return, because they're more willing to look at their revenue over a 12-month period and not hyper focus on the nightly value or the booking value. You want to average it out across the whole 12 months and, you know, literally make hay while the sun shines and cover your costs when it's not shining.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I think very much can be transferred to business as well, you know, that we have the longer term vision around our income in the business rather than just looking at what's happening today. Sarah, what is the key to success for you?
Hard work, hey?
Yeah.
The key is adaptability, looking for opportunities in everything, and working hard. You've got to work hard, because that translates when you are in front of a client and in front of a guest as well. If a guest knows that you're working really, really hard to make their holiday the best that you can possibly make it, they'll walk away happy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Such a good key of success there. One piece of advice you would give to someone starting out or thinking of going into business?
Do your research, know your industry. If you are going into a new industry and you've got a great idea, but you don't know where to start, go and find that experience somewhere. And you don't need to do it forever. I think something that I try and remember all the time and remind myself of, my colleagues, my owners, nothing is set in stone. You know, adaptability is so powerful, and you put something in place and it may work for that period of time, and then you adapt it and you change it, and you are, as a business owner, we are the masters of our own business destiny. And don't get stuck in the idea that, well, this is how we set it up and we must carry on like this. So be adaptable and flexible. Yeah.
Brilliant advice. Absolutely spot on. Sarah, one book you've read, maybe a podcast that you listen to that you can share and pay forward.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this and I landed on podcast rather than book. It's Diary of a CEO. It's actually not always about business. In fact, very often it isn't about business, but the way he carries, the way Bartlett carries himself in interviews, the way he adapts as well, and the people that he talks to is very, very interesting. And I like the way also that as a listener to that podcast, you're made very aware that the podcast is a business in itself. So he doesn't dress it up as being, fun. Oh, this is just my side thing. This is a real focus for him. And you're made very aware that he makes money from it. He has a team of people behind it. And he doesn't hide that at all. So I really like that podcast.
Well, I agree with you 100%. It is an absolute fantastic podcast.
Yeah.
What does the future hold?
Growth, I hope. Not I hope. Growth. We will grow. We are offering something so great in a market that is very competitive. There's not much barrier to entry, but you've got to offer a really good product once you're here. And we are doing that. Again, just going back to the foundations of the business, we knew very early on that we had to be better and to have an offering that the larger guys can't offer or won't offer. Actually, very often they won't offer it. And that is proving to be very popular with property owners. We've had a number of owners come to us from other agencies because of the offering that we've brought to the industry.
And can I ask a bit more about what it is that you offer?
Yeah, so a traditional holiday letting agency is effectively a marketing agency. And when I worked for bigger companies, I would often say it doesn't actually matter what we're selling. We could sell toothpaste, but our product happens to be a holiday. And that comes with a lot of moving parts, because it's not just the marketing, it comes with customer service as well, right? But first and foremost, a traditional agency is a marketing agency. What we are doing differently is we are treating those properties with love, care, and respect. And we are treating them as if they're our own. And what that comes with is customer service to the owner, customer service to the guest, marketing and maintenance, and the managing of bookings, so the turnovers and the changeovers. And so there are very few agencies that will take all of that on. We are truly doing our utmost to offer our owners a passive income. They can hand us the keys and turn around, walk away, and expect a check at the end of every month.
Amazing service there, Sarah. Thank you so much. Any news, any offers you'd like to share with those watching and listening?
Yeah, definitely. So we've just launched our BNI discount voucher. It is all capitals BNI. It's a voucher that you can enter onto our website, the holidaycottagecollection.co.uk. That'll give you a 15% discount on any bookings that you might like to make across all 30 of our properties. Equally, we're always looking for owners that are looking for that passive income, and we would be delighted to talk to anyone. I talk to lots of owners who just want some advice. We will give advice. You don't have to come and work with us. We will happily give advice. I go to a industry conference every year, and one of the key things I took away from that a couple of years ago was that there's no advantage to us not all sharing our knowledge. If we all share our knowledge, we bring our whole industry up. And I really, really like that. So if we've got owners that are out there that are listening, that just want advice, help, it's not quite working out, they don't know why, come and talk to us. You don't have to list with us. We would love you to, but if you just want some help, we are more than happy to do that as well.
Well, that's a really, really wonderful offer there. Thank you, Sarah. And that's why we do the podcast, so we can share knowledge and experience for others, so they don't make the same mistakes as we do.
Yeah.
And then,
I think that's the only other point that I was regretting not mentioning is that if I were to talk to someone who's new to any new industry, anyone that is looking to build a business, is just don't be scared of mistakes and making mistakes. You know, we are just human beings, but as long as your core objective is to do the right thing every time, then those mistakes can be worked out without, you know, without anyone really losing, you know, a life. You know, keep it in perspective, make the mistakes, apologize, make the changes, and move on.
Couldn't agree with you more, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming on to the Business Spotlight today. Absolutely fantastic to have you.
Thank you so much.